Hey man, what's up?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. So, for our senior project, we got to interview a few people about their jobs and careers, and like people who love to do what they do.
All right.
So, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
So I am in the Coast Guard. Been in the military for a little over 16 years now. So about 3.5 years till I get to retire and enjoy life a little bit, man. Prior to being in the Coast Guard, I was in the Army National Guard out of South Carolina. I was in there for 5.5 years. Did one tour in Kuwait, and then came back and came over to the Coast Guard. First joined up, went to basic training at Cape May, and then went to San Diego for was there for about 1.5 years. I was on a 378, which is one of the bigger boats we have. Was on there for a year, then went to the air station for 6 months, and then came here to lovely Elizabeth City for training, and ended up staying here for 5 more years. Then transferred to Clearwater for 4, and then came back up here, and I'm finishing up my second tour here. So been here for another 4 more years, and now I'm transferring over to the air station and do another 4 years and retire.
All right. What is something about your job that you love specifically?
What I love specifically, fixing things. Yeah, especially what I do now, working at ALC. We do depot level maintenance, so the plane comes in, gets tore down, which I've told you before, and then it gets rebuilt back up, and then it comes to the coasties. And our job is to work out all the bugs, get the plane where it can fly again so we can send it to an air station. And it's pretty fun to actually sit down with these issues, because they're not normal issues that you would see at an air station. So you get more in-depth on troubleshooting and fixing things. So you're going to see discrepancies or issues that you're not going to see anywhere else. And so it causes you to dive deeper into the situation to try to figure out what's going on. Because it's not just going to be, okay, it's a box that's got to be replaced. It's something, something worse than that. Like presently, the plane that we just got, we have had issue after issue after issue after issue after issue. Within the last 2 days, we've had 6 issues pop up, and we fixed 6 issues. As soon as we fix one, we find another one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely interesting. But I think that's my favorite part of doing what I do, is actually, getting out and fixing and finding what's wrong with something to make it better.
Did you see yourself doing this when you were in high school?
When I was in high school, no. I didn't join the military until I was 20, and I turned 21 in basic training for the Army. And let me tell you, that was a lot of fun. I spent all day doing 21 push-ups every 21 minutes while my battle buddies sang happy birthday to me. Yeah, it was not fun. No, man, when I was in high school, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. At the time, I was having fun. I was working at a fun park, go-karts, batting cages, and stuff like that, arcade. It was a great high school job. I was meeting people. I was going out, going to the lake, going to the beach. I was just enjoying life. The future was not on my radar at the time. And then after I graduated high school, I'm still in that. I'm in a fun phase.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine, he joined that. Well, he went to college, and then while I was in college, he joined the National Guard. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, I'm gonna join the military. So I called him up, and the next day I went down to the recruiting office, signed up. Well, actually, I went to his base, and his guard base, and signed up there for a position. But no, I didn't. This was not where I pictured myself in high school.
All right. So you said earlier that you were in the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about the transition from the National Guard to the Coast Guard?
Yeah. So it was a change. Going from a weekend warrior per se, National Guard, to active duty. You give up everything. In a way, it's just like, say, you go into the military. You had all your freedoms. You could go out and do whatever you want to, and then now, bam, you're at the leisure of the military or the government to go where you want to. Training-wise, it wasn't too much of a shock for me. I'd already been in the military 5.5 years. I already knew what to expect going to Coast Guard basic training, which was a month long as opposed to the 2 month that everybody else does. It was just a transition. It was actually kind of funny because I knew, what it was about, and so I was smiling every day. And one of our company commanders, Chief Mason, we called him Hamburglar, because he would hide behind stuff and catch people doing stuff all the time. And he'd catch me every day smiling. And I'd hear him, Clay! And I was like, stop smiling! Like, all right. Because, you don't
You'd already been through it.
Yeah, well, all of us had already been through it. Some of the guys were really stressed out. Like, all the Navy and the Air Force guys, they were stressed out going through this. Where all the Marines and Army guys were just like, we've done this before, whatever. You can't do anything that we haven't already had done to us.
Yeah.
And so, it was kind of funny to us. But you know, they didn't want me going around smiling because then everybody else would be like, oh, well, maybe this is easier than what we think it is.
Yeah.
You know, so they have to kind of keep some kind of control and fear over the recruits. That's the whole point of being a company commander or a drill sergeant or a drill instructor, you know, whatever branch you're in. So, but yeah, it was pretty funny him yelling at me all the time. Actually, one of the guys I work with now, he was in my basic training unit. And when I got here, you know, that was the first story that he brought up was about Chief Mason, you know, telling me not to smile all the time. But as for the transition, like I said, for me, it was pretty simple. You know, me and my ex-wife, you know, I went to training or anything like that, and we both decided where we wanted to go to, or the places that we wanted to go when I first joined. So we just, you know, we told the recruiter we either want Hawaii, California, or Texas. And of course, we got Hawaii. California. So that was kind of fun. My ex-wife at the time was up for the adventure to move, but after we had my son, and then she just kind of realized the military life wasn't for her. So, you know, and that happens to, you know, a lot of members, you know, in the military, and it sucks, it really does. But you know, it's part of life. You kind of have to get through it and just keep going on. But you see what I have now. So it was all for a reason. God knew what He was doing on that aspect. But job-wise, for anybody, you know, whether you're prior service or not, going into the job of the military, it's different. And it's a different way of life. It's more structured. You know, a lot of yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'ams, where in the civilian life you can just tell somebody, you know, and go about your business. You can't do that over here. So that's pretty hard, especially coming from my unit in the Guard. I was the youngest guy. I was 21. All the other guys were 30, 40. So I was like their son. So, you know, it was really relaxed. And then coming to actually, you know, active duty service is a little more uptight, a little more high-strung than it was relaxed. So that was a transition for me. Luckily, my first unit, when I came in, aviation was a bunch of pranksters. You know, we joked around all the time. So it was pretty good transition, you know. But you know me, I'm pretty lighthearted. I like to play around a lot and everything like that. So, you know, I kind of let things roll off my back. If something happens, then whatever, it happens. I can't control it. The only drawback about the military for me is just moving, you know, every 4 years. Because once you get settled, you can find a church and you find people that you like to do things with and stuff like that. And then you're leaving 4 years and you're gone. So, you know, God bless us with another tour here, so we can retire here and I can bug you for the rest of your life.
Speaking of lovely Elizabeth City, is out of the places you've been with the Coast Guard,
right?
Which one do you say, or do you think has been one of your favorites?
They all have their ups and downs. San Diego, beautiful area, lot to do. It's just really expensive and really crowded. Clearwater, same thing. Weather's not as good as San Diego. San Diego has the best weather of all three places. There's a lot to do in Clearwater, a lot of places you can go. It wasn't as expensive, which was nice, but you know, it's about the same thing here. But I like it here as I like small town life. You know, I'm from small towns in Kansas and lived in small towns in South Carolina, which I call home. I like the small town life. We're close enough to Virginia, you know, so if you want to go do something, it's more of a treat than where if you live in San Diego and Clearwater, you can go do this stuff every day, and you know, you waste a lot of money, and it doesn't mean the same. So here, I like it better. You know, we have everything that we need here. I know a lot of people complain about Elizabeth City, but you know, honestly, with any town in America, it's what you make of it. So, you know, if you complain about the place that you live in, then you're not doing enough to make it fun. You know, you need to get out and you need to explore more and find more things to do than what you're already doing. So, honestly, I would say Elizabeth City is probably my favorite place of all the places I've been to. And I know a lot of people will be like, "But you went to San Diego, you were in Clearwater." Yeah, no, I like here. I like quiet. I'm old, you know. I'm ready to work on my yard and let my daughter grow up and travel. And that's a good thing too. We can travel and come back to a nice quiet area. So, but yeah, I like E-City the best of all the places. Plus I get to see you every day.
Well, thank you for...
Thanks for coming over, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time to ask me a few questions, man.